She sent me the photo of her and Travis at some brewery, all smiles and matching craft beers, with the caption, "Reconnecting with old friends." And I knew right then I wasn't going to be the guy who waited around to see how this played out. Hey friends, please subscribe and turn on notifications, like this video, and leave a comment with your impressions. This will be a great help. Thank you. We never tire of reminding you. It's all thanks to you. It was late April in Denver, and the weather was doing that thing where it can't decide between winter and spring. I'm 39, working as a project manager for a construction company that builds commercial properties across the Front Range. My girlfriend Vanessa was 36, a human resources director for a healthcare network downtown. We'd been together for 4 years, living together for the last 2 in a rental house in Highlands, one of those neighborhoods that used to be affordable before everyone discovered it. That Tuesday morning, I was up at my usual time, 5:30, making coffee and checking the project schedule for a hotel renovation in Boulder. Vanessa came downstairs around 6:15, which was early for her. She usually rolled out of bed at 7, scrambled to get ready, left by 7:45. But today she was showered, dressed, makeup done, wearing jeans and a sweater I'd never seen. Burgundy, fitted, expensive looking. I asked if she had something going on. She poured herself coffee and said she was taking a personal day, meeting up with some old college friends who were in town. I asked who. She said just some people from her sorority, nobody I'd met. I nodded, went back to my laptop. She left around 8. The next few days felt slightly off in a way I couldn't put my finger on. She was on her phone more than usual, but always angled away. Wednesday evening, I suggested we grab dinner at this Italian place we liked in Lohi, and she said she wasn't hungry. She'd had a late lunch. Thursday, she said she was going out for drinks after work with her team. Came home after 11 smelling like beer and cigarettes. Friday, she was distracted, barely responded when I told her about a problem we'd hit on the Boulder project. Saturday morning, I slept in, came downstairs around 8 to find her already dressed again. Different outfit, same energy. Hair curled, more makeup than she'd wear to lounge around the house. I was pouring cereal when she sat down at the kitchen table with her phone. "So I'm meeting Travis for lunch today," she said, not looking up. I stopped mid-pour. "Travis? Yeah. Remember I told you about him? We dated sophomore and junior year before he transferred to Colorado State." I remembered. She'd mentioned him maybe twice in 4 years. Always in passing. Always in the context of that relationship taught me what I didn't want. I set the milk down. "Okay, what's the occasion?" She scrolled on her phone. "He reached out a couple weeks ago. He's back in Denver, working for some tech startup. We've been messaging a little, catching up. He wanted to grab lunch." "A couple weeks ago," I said. "Yeah. And you're just mentioning it now." She looked up, and there was something in her expression I didn't like. "I didn't think it was something you needed to know about. It's not like I need permission to see old friends." I sat down across from her. "I'm not saying you need permission. I'm saying it's weird that you didn't mention you've been talking to your ex for 2 weeks. We're friends. That's all. You're making it into something it's not. I'm asking a question." She stood up, grabbed her purse from the counter. "Look, this is my thing. My past, my friendship, my lunch. You don't have to be part of every single aspect of my social life." I felt something click in my chest. Not anger, exactly. More like clarity. I don't have to be part of it. Right? It's healthy to have separate lives sometimes. I looked at her for a long moment. "When's lunch?" "Noon. I'll probably be back around 3. Where are you going?" "Why does it matter?" "Just curious." She sighed like I was being difficult. "Ratio Beer Works. The one on Larimer." "Have fun," I said. She left at 11:30. I sat at the table and thought about what had just happened. Not the lunch itself. People can have lunch with exes. That's not inherently a problem. But the way she'd framed it. "You don't have to be part of every single aspect of my social life." Like I was being controlling just by expecting her to mention she'd been talking to an ex-boyfriend for 2 weeks. Here's what she didn't know. 3 months ago, we'd started talking seriously about buying a house together. The rental market in Denver was insane, and we were throwing away $2,800 a month on a place we'd never own. We'd gotten pre-approved for a mortgage, started looking at listings, found a place we both loved in Wash Park. 3-bedroom bungalow, needed some work, but it was solid. We'd put in an offer, got accepted, signed the purchase agreement. We were set to close in 6 weeks, first week of June. I'd put down $15,000 in earnest money. Vanessa had put down 10. The agreement was binding, but there was a financing contingency clause. If either of us couldn't secure the loan, we could back out and get the earnest money back. The lender needed final approval from both of us by May 15th. 2.5 weeks from now. I pulled out my laptop and found the purchase agreement. Read through the financing contingency section again. Then I opened my email and drafted a message to our lender. Said I needed to discuss my portion of the loan, asked when she was available for a call. Saved it to drafts. Didn't send it yet. Then I did something I'm not proud of, but I did it anyway. Vanessa had left her iPad on the couch. We'd given each other the passcodes to our devices years ago, one of those relationship transparency things. I'd never used hers. I picked it up now. Opened her messages. The thread with Travis went back 17 days. Started friendly. Hey, long time, how have you been? And escalated fast. By day 3, they were reminiscing about college, about the relationship, about how intense it had been. By day 7, he was telling her she looked even better now than she did back then. By day 10, she was telling him she thought about him sometimes. Wondered what would have happened if he hadn't transferred. 3 days ago, I've been with someone for 4 years now. It's comfortable, stable. But sometimes I wonder if comfortable is enough. His reply, life's too short for comfortable. You deserve passion. Her reply, maybe you're right. I set the iPad down. Sat there for a while. Then I pulled out my phone and sent the email to the lender. She called me 20 minutes later. Her name was Patricia. We'd worked with her since February. I explained that I was reconsidering my financial readiness for the purchase, that some things had changed in my personal situation, and I needed to understand my options for withdrawing from the loan application. Patricia was professional. Said if I withdrew before final approval, the contingency would kick in and I could recover my earnest money. Vanessa would have the option to proceed on her own if she could qualify for the full loan amount by herself, but on her salary alone, probably not for a house at that price. More likely the whole deal would fall through and we'd both get our deposits back. I asked how to proceed. She said I'd need to send a formal letter to her and the title company, stating I was withdrawing my application due to changed financial circumstances. I asked if I could send that today. She said absolutely. I wrote the letter. Kept it simple, professional. Sent it to Patricia and CC'd the title company. Got an automated reply from the title company saying they'd received it and would process the withdrawal within 5 business days. Then I started packing. I didn't take anything that wasn't clearly mine. Clothes, books, my tools from the garage, my bike, the coffee maker I'd brought when I moved in, the TV from my bedroom before we'd moved in together, my grandmother's dishes. I left the furniture we'd bought together, the art we'd picked out, the kitchen stuff we'd accumulated. I made 3 trips to my truck, loading boxes, working methodically. By the time Vanessa got home at 3:15, I had everything in the truck or staged by the door. I was wrapping up the last box when I heard her car in the driveway. She came in through the front door, saw the boxes, stopped. What's going on? I'm moving out, I said. She set her purse down slowly. You're what? Moving out. I'll be gone in about an hour. Because of lunch? Are you kidding me right now? I taped the box shut. I also withdrew from the house purchase. The lender should be contacting you sometime next week. You can try to qualify on your own or let the deal fall through. Either way, I'm out. Her face went pale. You can't do that. I just did. We're under contract. We'll lose the deposit. No, we won't. The financing contingency covers this. We'll both get our earnest money back. She stepped closer. Why would you do this? I stood up, looked at her. I read the messages with Travis. Everything about her changed. Her shoulders tensed. Her face flushed. You went through my iPad? I did. That's a violation of my privacy. You told me this morning I don't have to be part of every aspect of your life. So I'm not. I'm removing myself entirely. This is insane. You're destroying everything we've built over some messages. I'm not destroying anything. You already did that when you told another man that what we have is just comfortable and you're not sure it's enough. She opened her mouth. Closed it. That was just venting. It didn't mean anything. It meant enough for you to say it. It meant enough for you to hide him from me for 2 weeks. It meant enough for you to tell me this morning that I don't need to be part of your social life. I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? She didn't answer. I picked up a box. I'm going to finish loading the truck. I'd appreciate it if you let me do that without making this harder than it needs to be. Where are you going to go? I've got a place lined up. I didn't, but I would. She followed me outside. This is crazy. You're blowing up our entire relationship because you're jealous. I loaded the box into the truck bed. I'm not jealous. I'm done dating someone who thinks of me as comfortable and stable while she's out having passionate conversations with her ex. We're just talking. For now. What's that supposed to mean? I turned to face her. It means I know where this is going. You're testing the waters with him while keeping me as a backup. And I'm not interested in being anyone's backup plan. That's not what's happening. Okay. It's not. Then why did you hide it? Why didn't you mention him until this morning? Why did you tell him you wonder if comfortable is enough? She started crying. Because I got scared. We're about to buy a house. That's huge. That's permanent. And I panicked a little and reached out to someone who felt safe because he's from my past, and there's no real risk there. I went back inside for another box. She followed. Please don't do this, she said. We can work through it. I'll stop talking to Travis. I'll block him right now. I don't want you to block him because I'm making you. I want you to want to block him because you choose me. And you don't. I do choose you. You didn't this morning. You chose separate lives and privacy and keeping me out of it. I carried the last box to the truck. She stood on the porch, arms wrapped around herself. It was starting to rain, that cold April rain that Denver gets. Where does this leave us? She asked quietly. I'll be back tomorrow for the rest of my things. You can have the house rental until the lease is up in August. My name's on it too, but I'll talk to the landlord about removing me. You'll need to cover the full rent or find a roommate. I can't afford this place alone. That's something you'll need to figure out. You're just going to leave me here with no help? I climbed into the truck. You told me I don't have to be part of your life. I'm respecting that. I drove to an extended stay hotel off I-25, checked in for a week, and started looking for apartments. Found a one-bedroom in Capitol Hill, smaller and cheaper than what I needed, but available immediately. Signed a 6-month lease, moved in that Wednesday. Vanessa called me 11 times over the next 3 days. I didn't answer. She texted, please just talk to me. This is ridiculous. I didn't respond. Thursday evening my phone rang from a number I didn't recognize. I answered. It was her mother. She's devastated, her mom said. What happened? You should ask Vanessa, I said. She said you went through her private messages and left her over nothing. That's her version. Mine's different. But either way, it's over. You're both adults. You should be able to work through this. I appreciate your concern, but this isn't something I'm going to work through. She tried to argue. I thanked her for calling and hung up. Friday I got an email. Subject line, please read. From Vanessa. Long, detailed, explaining that she'd made a mistake, that Travis meant nothing, that she'd been dealing with cold feet about the house and had handled it badly. She said she loved me, wanted to fix this, would do whatever it took. I didn't reply. The title company sent me a check for my earnest money 2 weeks later. $15,000 back in my account. The house deal fell through. Vanessa couldn't qualify for the loan on her own. I heard from a mutual friend that she was scrambling to find something affordable, looking at studios and one-bedrooms way out in Aurora. 6 weeks went by. I focused on work, hit the gym, started hiking on weekends. Caught up with friends I'd been neglecting. My brother came to visit from Albuquerque, stayed in my tiny apartment, slept on an air mattress, didn't ask too many questions about the breakup. Then in early June, I was at a Rockies game with some guys from work, standing in line for beer between innings, when I saw Travis. He was with a woman I didn't recognize, laughing, his arm around her waist. I wouldn't have thought anything of it except he saw me at the same moment, and his face did this thing where he clearly recognized me even though we'd never met. He looked away fast, steered the woman in a different direction. I got my beer and went back to my seat. The next morning, Vanessa called from yet another unknown number. I answered without thinking. Did you see him? She said. See who? Travis. At the game last night. With her. I saw someone, I said. Didn't realize it was Travis until he bolted. She was crying. He's been seeing her the whole time. Since before he even reached out to me. He was just trying to see if I was still interested, if he still had it. I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm such an idiot. Probably not the word I'd use, but you made some bad choices. I lost everything. The house, you, my whole plan. And for what? For some guy who was using me for an ego boost. That's rough, I said. I meant it. I didn't feel good about her pain, but I didn't feel responsible for it either. Can we try again? She asked. I know I messed up. I know I don't deserve another chance. But I miss you. I miss us. No, I said. Just like that. Just like that. What we had is gone. You can't get it back by apologizing after the fact. So you're just done. For years, and you're walking away. You walked first, I said. I just made it official. She hung up. I heard through the friend network that she ended up moving back in with her parents in Littleton, gave up the rental house, took a financial hit on breaking the lease early. She was struggling at work, her performance reviews tanking, apparently dealing with some depression. I felt bad about that part. Depression is real and it's hard. But I also knew I'd made the right call. It's October now, 6 months gone. I'm still in the Capitol Hill apartment, but I've been looking at condos. Found one I like in Baker, close to the parks, good price, something I can actually afford on my own without needing a partner to split it with. Put in an offer last week. Waiting to hear back. I ran into Vanessa one more time, about 3 weeks ago. I was at a coffee shop on South Pearl, working on some project estimates on a Saturday morning. She walked in with someone, a guy I didn't recognize, older, 50s maybe. Saw me immediately. Said something to him. He went to order while she came over to my table. Hi, she said. Hi. You look good. Thanks. You too. She did, actually. Healthier than the last time I'd seen her. I'm doing better, she said, like she could read my mind. Got a therapist. Figured some things out. That's good. I'm glad. She glanced back at the guy she'd come in with. That's Ron. We've been seeing each other for a few weeks. Nothing serious yet, but it's nice. Good for you. I wanted to say I'm sorry. For real this time. Not because I want you back, but because I genuinely am sorry for how I handled everything. I nodded. I appreciate that. Are you seeing anyone? Not right now. Just focusing on work and getting my life set up the way I want it. That's probably smart. She smiled, sad but genuine. Take care of yourself. You too. She went back to Ron. They got their coffee and left. I watched them go, felt nothing but a kind of distant relief that we weren't going to keep running into each other in painful ways. The offer on the condo got accepted yesterday. I close in 30 days. 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 700 square feet, and it's all mine. No shared decisions, no complicated conversations about who wants what or who's contributing what percentage. Just me, my name on the deed, my life on my terms. And that's the whole story. If you've been in a situation where you had to choose between waiting to see if someone would choose you back or just choosing yourself first, I'd be interested to hear how you handled it. Drop a comment below.